Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Mukesh English, and this is Mukesh Soni. Friends, in this video I will discuss the important questions from the famous TED Talk titled How Great Leaders Inspire Actions by Simon Oliver Sinek. I have already done the summary of this TED Talk. You can see the links in the description box. Now let's begin the discussion of the question answers. How great leaders inspire actions. So the very first question we have here, discuss the golden circle as explained by the speaker. So what is a golden circle in the TED Talk? How great leaders inspire actions. In this TED Talk, the speaker explores his concept of the golden circle, which he calls as the naturally occurring pattern, which is based on the biology of human decision making, which says why we are inspired by some people, by some leaders, by some messages, and by some organizations over the others. The golden circle is similar to a target with three rings, starting with the outer ring, leading to the center ring, and the sections are labeled as what, how, and why. The most common and comfortable place for the leaders to speak to is the what, as in what the organizations does. Many leaders are also comfortable of speaking to how they do what they do. Mostly, many speakers do not speak to why. They don't answer this question why. So Cynic Simon suggests that why, quote unquote, is the most transformational and powerful place to speak to, as it is a place of purpose and passion. Cynic further explains that the golden circle corresponds to the biology of the human brain. The outer layer of the brain, the what, is represented in the Homo sapien brain and the place of rational thought, analytical data, and language. The inner circle of the brain, that is why and how, relates to the limbic portion of the brain where feelings such as trust and loyalty are generated. It is also the place of decision making, and especially those that come from the gut. So, second question, could Apple become extremely successful according to the speaker? Discuss. All great and inspiring leaders and organizations, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King, operate in the same way, and it's the opposite of everyone else, says Sinek. Inspired and inspiring leaders start with the why before moving to the how, then the what. Sinek uses Apple as an example. Apple believes in challenging the status quo, that is why, by making the beautifully designed products, that's how, and those products just happen to the computers, that is the what. Third question, explain how biology controls our decision-making abilities. According to Simon, human brain is actually broken into the three major components that correlates perfectly with the golden circle. Our newest brain, our Homo sapien brain, our neocortex corresponds with the what level. The neocortex is responsible for all of our rational and analytical thought and language. The middle two sections make up our limbic brains, and our limbic brains are so responsible for all of our feelings, just as trust, loyalty. It's also responsible for all our human behavior, our decision making skills, and it has no capacity for language. So, according to Simon, human brain is actually broken into three major components that correlate perfectly with the golden circle. So, according to the speaker, when we communicate from the inside out, we are talking directly to the part of the brain that controls behavior. Then we allow people to rationalize it with the tangible things we say and do. So, this is where gut decisions come from. Limbic brain, the part of the brain that controls decision making, not language. Bring out the difference between the Wright brothers and Samuel Pierpont Langle's way of thinking and execution. A few hundred miles away in Dayton, Ohio, Orville and Wilbur Wright, they had none of what we consider to be the recipe for success. They had no money. They paid for the dream with the proceeds from their bicycle shop. Not a single person on the Wright brothers team had a college education. Not even Oliver or Wilbur. Then the New York Times followed them around nowhere. The difference was Orwell and Wilbur were driven by a cause, by purpose, by belief. They believed that if they could figure out this flying machine, it will challenge the course of the world. So Samuel Pierpont Langley was different. He wanted to be rich and he wanted to be famous. He was in pursuit of the result. He was in pursuit of the riches. And behold, look what happened. The people who believed in the Wright brothers' dream worked with them with blood, sweat, and tears. The others just worked for the paycheck, and they tell stories of how every time the Wright brothers went out and they would have to take 5 sets of the parts because that's how many times they would crash before they came in for the supper. Last question, explain the law of diffusion of innovation as put across by the speaker in his poem in the speech. The law of diffusion of innovation, as represented by Simon Sinek in his TED Talk, explains how new ideas and products gain acceptance and spread within a society. Sinek emphasizes that for an innovation to achieve widespread adoption, it must appeal to different segments of the population in a specific order. The key points of the law of diffusion of innovation include number one, innovators, that is 2.5%. So these are the individuals who are the first to adopt an innovation. They are risk takers and willfully to try the new ideas. Early adopters. This group follows the innovators and is crucial for the success of an innovation. They are opinion leaders and are often seen as the trade setters. Third one is the early majority, that's 34%. This larger group adopts the innovation once they see it being used successfully by the early adopters. They are more deliberate and take time to make discussions. Late majority, that's 34%. These individuals are skeptical, will only adopt an innovation after the majority of the society has accepted it. They need reassurance and proof of its effectiveness. And the last one, laggards, that is only 16%. The last group to adopt an innovation, laggards are resistant to change. Laggards are resistant to change and perfect traditional methods. They are resistant to change and perfect the traditional methods. So in this manner, Sinek emphasizes that for an innovation to cross the tipping point and reach mass adoption, it must gain friction with the early adopters and early majority. He argues that successful innovators resonate with people on an emotional level, appealing to the beliefs and values rather than just focusing on the product features. This is how this is expressed in his speech, in his famous concept of the golden circle, which encourages leaders to start with why, the purpose, cause, belief that inspires the innovation. So this is how I try to solve the questions of the famous TED Talk by Simon Sinek. Simon, titled Great Leaders. And if you have any questions, you can mail to mukeshenglish@gmail.com. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe, like in the comment box, share the video to maximum people. Then you can mail me any questions. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned with Mukesh English.